Hi y'all, welcome back to Astro Motivation. My name is JupiterJames, where I awaken the astrologer within you and aim to give you a little inspiration and motivation per your unique placement within your birth chart. You know, I really do feel that before a time of iPhones and iPads and I this and I that, we were a culture and a society that were better able to look up at the stars and understand exactly what the universe wanted from us. And it is with that knowledge and with that language that we were able to look down at our birth charts and see exactly where our dreams were and how to get them. And so if that sounds good to you, let's get into it. Today we're going to get into Saturn in the second house. Now, Saturn in the second house is going to give me someone who in this life, they are meant to learn the lessons of stability. They are meant to learn the lessons of how to maintain and attain wealth and money and stability more so. But before we go ahead and really dive deep into that karmic lesson of what Saturn in the second house is and the Saturn return, what that you may be experiencing with that placement, I want to go ahead and separate the aspects. That way you are better able to understand different areas of the birth chart. You are able to do more with the information that you've been given, and you're not just confined to Saturn in the second house, okay? Because I want you guys to be able to, when Saturn comes up in a different area of life, you go, okay, JupiterJames told me Saturn does this. And when the second house comes out and you see it pop up in someone else's birth chart, you can go, okay, JupiterJames told me that second house did this. And now you can go ahead and decipher other people's birth charts. You can put the combinations together in different ways and different ideologies and like different placements, and you're not just confined to Saturn in the second house. You get what I'm saying? That's how we learn the language of the stars, is that we take little bits and pieces of ourselves and we apply it to different combinations of other people's birth charts and other areas of our own charts, okay? So with Saturn in the birth chart, Saturn in the birth chart for me as an astrologer is always going to show me what the karmic lesson of this soul and this life is here to learn, okay? If you want to know where this person is always dealt lessons, if you want to know where you are always being doled lessons by pain and restriction and something that is blocked off to you because it's an area of life that is hard for you, because this is where you are learning your life's lesson, this is where that is in the birth chart. You know, we are in Earth school down here on the planet. Little do you know that it's not all about working and going to college and getting the white picket fence and eating and love and all. Yes, that is the perks of what we get to do here on the planet. But what we are really here to do is to cultivate and integrate things that are a part of our souls that we have not encountered yet. That way, when we do hop off the karmic wheel and we float back up into the ethers, we have something to offer. We are more well-rounded because we are just here to learn. We are little feelers of the all that is, to learn about ourselves and learn about what the human experiences is. And that way, when we take it back, it knows what it is. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, with that being said, this is where your karmic lesson is, okay? This is also where you will see from the ages of 28 to about 30, 35 in some instances, that the person's life in that area of life will have a great transformation. Their life will be turned upside down, because this will be that point in their life that people call the Saturn return, that the universe is demanding that this person learn the lesson so that they can be promoted or graduate into the next chapter of their life. They really do say that, you know, when you hit 30, that is when you become who you are meant to be. That is when the cerebral cortex is fully developed. That's when who you are is fully developed. I know they want to say that it's 21. I know some people say 18, but it is really when you are 30 that you become a fully realized, a fully embodied person. And so before that point happens, Saturn is there to make sure that you deserve the title of being 30, that you really seep in the lessons of who you are and how you are meant to walk in the universe with the lesson that you acquire in that area of your life, okay? And that is Saturn, all right? And Saturn will always restrict, and he will stop, and he will make it painful, and he will make that thing, that area, wherever Saturn is pointing to, he will make it very challenging for you so that you stop in certain areas of your life from birth to 27, 28, that in that period you should be asking yourself, why is that area hard in my life? Why do I always have friction? Why when I try to do that thing that Saturn is pointing to, why is it so hard for me to do that? And it is usually because, you'll be repeating that pattern over and over again, and the lesson will come back stronger each time, okay? Each time you don't get it, the universe will send the same situation to you, just in a different costume, back to you until you learn it, all right? And that usually hits the fan by 28, to where you are forced to learn it, okay? Now, moving on to the second house. What does the second house mean? The second house is ruled by Venus, and it's ruled by Taurus, all right? And no matter what sign your respective second house may be in, know that the default out of the packaging birth chart is going to be ruled by Taurus and Venus. And Taurus and Venus in the second house rules money, it rules wealth, it rules stability, okay? This is the house where I like to see where your values are, and what were the values of your parents and the household and the family that you were birthed from. You know, we are all standing on the foundations of our parents and what they taught us. Believe it or not, whether for good, whether for bad, whether you deviated from their teachings, it does not matter. The second house is going to show me what matters to you in this life, what truly matters to you in this life, and how you will make your money, all right? And that is what the second house is going to show me. So with that being said, what happens when the second house goes into the second house? What happens when Saturn goes into the second house? When Saturn goes into the second house, this is going to show me that you are being asked in this life to learn hard lessons regarding your values in this life. It could be whatever you value. It could be you value money, you value love, you value philosophy, you value whatever you value in this life. You are going to be learning lessons in this life. This could give me someone who probably doesn't know their values, or is someone who when someone asks you what is important to you or what do you stand for, you simply say, I don't know. It could be that. And in this life, you will be dished out relationships, and you will be given jobs, you will be given things that test where your values are, or test your values in general, whatever they may be. But my intuition really tells me that this might be someone that, because they don't know what they value, they are not easily able to make money. You know, if we all fall into the jobs that we feel very strongly about because we value something that the byproduct of a job gives you. You know, some people want to be singers because they know that they value joy in this life. They value freedom of expression in this life. They value offering something to the world that makes it a better place, and so they feel that by singing they can do that. You get what I'm saying? Some people value money in this life because they value freedom, and so they'll find a job that gives them both. And so for you, it may be hard for you to find the job that you want to do, or to find a job that gives you money or stability, because you simply don't know what your values are. This area of your life is going to be blocked for you. And this also gives me someone who may have struggled with poverty growing up. This could be someone who did not come from a background of a family that had money or had a lot of resources, that, you know, your foundation that you look back on and you say, you know, my family, we really struggled. We didn't have a lot of money. And that could be a value in and of itself, that maybe you value money because you never want to be in that situation again. But wherever Saturn is, it blocks it and delays it only for a moment, only for a time, until you learn the lesson, or until and once you learn the lesson, you will become adept in this area. You know, this could make for someone who, once they learn the lesson in this area that regards their values, this could be the people that go out and teach great values to other people. This could be people who could value money and be able to teach others about money. This could be people who attain a great amount of wealth in this life only because they know what not to do with money. You get what I'm saying? So this could very much be that type of placement. And I know stability may be hard for you as well. You may always look up and be wondering, like, damn, like I'm always sleeping on a couch. I'm always like, I can never hold down a job. I can never hold down an apartment. I can never like get on my feet. And what is that about? I can't do I can't get stable. Stability for me is very hard. You may find yourself in a position where money is very restricted for you, and that makes for a very unstable life in one way, shape, or form. And so this will really hit the fan when you hit the age of 28 to 30, where this type of behavior, this type of life that you are living, where things are just always topsy-turvy and you don't know what's happening next, and this happens and that happens, that's just no longer going to be sufficient. The universe is going to put you in a position where either you learn what is important to you, either you buck up and say, you know what, I gotta go get that job, I gotta go work somewhere, even if I don't like it, I gotta do something in my life, or I'm gonna be out on the streets. I gotta do something. I can't just rely on my parents, I can't just rely on my relationships, I can't just rely, you see what I mean? So by the ages of 28 to about 30, these lessons will really seep in, and stability will be very hard for you. You know, you will probably live a very up and down, topsy-turvy life, but this life is doing that because first it wants to test you in the area of what your values are. Your values are going to need some reworking and some restructuring. You're going to find that the thing that you came into this life valuing is something that maybe you were wrong about. Maybe you were coming at that way of thinking or that value that you had in a different approach. You're gonna have to come at it from a different approach. You may find that you have a transformation of your values. Again, the values that you were maybe taught or that you were holding on to were not so successful. And so you're gonna need to change your mind in order to change your life, you know? In order to make, and in that, you will then make money. For example, this could be someone who is, and I'm honestly going off of someone I know who has Saturn in the second house, you know, and this person is a relative of mine, and this person was kind of a spoiled kid growing up, and this person thought that their parents were always gonna just foot the bill, and they did for a certain amount of time, to the point where they were giving him so much money that he had his own apartment, and then he fell into drugs, you know. Then it was through the money that was given to him that he spoiled irresponsibly. He had a trust fund and he spoiled it irresponsibly, and he got into drugs and he went down the wrong road, and all of a sudden he was out on the streets and homeless. And it came to the point where when he was holding out his hand at the age of 28, that his parents said, look, it's either you go get a job or you go to jail. It's either you do this or you go to a homeless shelter. I'm not taking care of you anymore. Like, where are your values? What are you thinking? What is in your mind that's got you believing that this is an okay way of living? It's not. You have to find a way to be stable. You can't just be willy-nilly out here because you think you got it like that. No. So by 28, by 30, this person, a relative of mine, found that, okay, it's time to be an adult. I can't rely on my family because my family isn't going to do that. If they die one day, what's gonna happen to me? You know, if they die, my siblings aren't gonna take care of me because my siblings aren't gonna go for what my parents go for. So he had to digest that value, and he had to change his mind on the approach and the way he was living his life. And he said, okay, I have to grow up, I have to go out, I have to get a job, I have to take the money that is being given to me, I have to be grateful for it, I have to cherish it, and I have to maintain it, and I have to stabilize it. That way I can be stable, that way I can be respected, that way now the values that I have in my life are more in line with the life that I want to live. You see? So if this sounds like you, can you let me know in the comments if this sounds like you? And while you're at it, can you let me know the sign that your Saturn in the second house is, okay? Let me know that. Is money hard for you to access? Is money hard for you to maintain? Is money a thing for you that you feel you have to learn the lessons of money? You are learning a great lesson when it comes to money, whether it be how to get it, maintain it, work for it. You are learning the lessons of stability as well. You are learning what your values are, and if they are aligning with who you want to be in this life, and how to make money, you know? Because believe it or not, those things are intertwined. What you value in this life usually ends up being what you work for and what you work towards. So let me know if this is you, okay? My biggest advice to you is understand that, you know, stability is not a bad thing. Money is not a bad thing. Your values are not a bad thing. But when you get to a point where the way you are thinking and what you are valuing is no longer aligned with the life that you want to live, that's when it's time to change your mind. And you may be stubborn, you may be someone who is so deep rooted in the way you feel about life and your life and the way things are, but it is in that the universe is saying, this is an area you're holding on to, and I gotta kind of show you what this is. I gotta kind of show you what this life is about and what this matrix is and how to get through it, okay? And know that by the ages of 28 to 30 will be the times that it's time to turn in that metaphoric SAT and really find stability for yourself. Know that you will find stability, but you have to submit in order to ascend. I'm gonna say that again. You're gonna have to submit to ascend, okay? You're gonna need to surrender in order to get higher. You're gonna need to let some things go in order to get higher. You're gonna have to break it down. You're gonna have to get you're gonna have to let some things go, okay? So I really do hope that this video inspired you and encouraged you and gave you some clarity within this unique placement of your birth chart. If you would like me to do another video, regarding a placement of yours that does not have anything to do with Saturn, go ahead and write that in my comments below, and I'll add that to the queue as a part of the videos that I will get out for you guys. But until next time, I'm rooting for you, and I will see you on the next one, all right? Bye.